Star Wars Jedi Survivor truly had its work cut out for it. Its predecessor set an incredibly high bar with lovable characters that quickly became fan favorites, an incredible and dark story, and an exhilarating lightsaber combat system. It was clear from the closing moments of Fallen Order that the next game would have a daunting mission to bring something truly special to the table in order to elevate the franchise to the next level. After spending roughly 30 hours with Star Wars Jedi Survivor, it's safe to say that Respawn has accomplished that mission. Jedi Survivor takes everything that we loved about Fallen Order and vastly improves on it. The game opens on a familiar and fan-favorite planet, and from there, players embark on a truly enthralling journey that masterfully brings together elements of all the various eras of Star Wars into an incredible story and places it as one of the best, if not the best, Star Wars games of all time.
One of the big standouts from the story of Jedi Survivor is how much more of a developed personality our hero Cal Kestis has this time around. Watching Cal wrestle with what it means to be a Jedi during this period of turmoil in the galaxy is one of the best elements of the story of Jedi Survivor. It is clear that the 5-year gap between the events of Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor have impacted Cal considerably. Despite still being dedicated to his mission of saving the galaxy from the stranglehold of the evil Galactic Empire, Cal is no longer that naive, stock Jedi type that blindly adheres to the traditional rules of the Jedi Order. This time around, he carries himself with a strong level of confidence in his abilities that sometimes even translates into a level of cockiness. It is hard not to be reminded of our old friend Anakin Skywalker as a good character comparison for Cal in this new chapter of his story.
What truly makes the story of Star Wars Jedi Survivor special is the fantastic character moments that are bound to pull at your heartstrings. Throughout the game, we felt a strong and deep emotional connection to every single character, their intentions in the galaxy, and the daunting challenges that they face. As the story progresses, it becomes very clear that the stakes in Jedi Survivor are much higher than they were in Jedi Fallen Order, and thanks to the wonderful storytelling from Respawn here, there were countless moments where we found ourselves loudly cheering, or our hearts racing and palms sweaty from certain predicaments we would not dare spoil in this review.
Completely fried. We won't be flying again without repairs.
All of these moments are permeated and punctuated by a score and soundtrack that nimbly flows from exhilarating to tear-jerking to heartbreaking. The music of Star Wars Jedi Survivor reaches and even exceeds the peaks of compositional brilliance achieved by Fallen Order, and leaves us wondering why lead composers Stephen Barton and Gordy Hobb are not composing for all of Star Wars' live-action projects. Aside from the game's brilliant score, we found ourselves rifling through the different songs on DDEC's mix, featuring countless bangers from in-universe bands such as Alton Laser Blaster, Yubnib Zek and the main characters, and crowd favorite throat singers from Fallen Order, the Agazar, who have really outdone themselves this time around. We highly recommend using a good pair of headphones as you play through this game. You'll find yourself truly immersed in the caverns and caves of Koboh, as the metal creaks beneath your feet and distant roars reverberate against the stone walls. This game truly sings like music to your audio receptors.
A great story is only half the battle, as it doesn't really matter how good the story of the game is if the gameplay is subpar. Thankfully, that is simply not to be concerned about with Jedi Survivor, as the game does a great job of taking the strong foundation of gameplay from Fallen Order and elevating it to a next level. Jedi Survivor offers 3 additional combat stances from the 2 original stances in Fallen Order, bringing the grand total to 5 individual lightsaber combat stances, each with their own unique set of animations, skill trees, and abilities. It's clear from the very beginning that the combat animations are much more brutal in Jedi Survivor compared to Fallen Order. Because of this, the combat looks and feels a lot more fun this time around because it's incredibly exciting to see all these cool and brutal animations flow together. One of the biggest complaints about the lightsaber combat in Fallen Order was the lack of dismemberment that made the lightsabers feel more like baseball bats than a beam of ultra-hot plasma capable of cutting through almost every known material in the galaxy. Respawn clearly took note of this criticism because Jedi Survivor offers a level of dismemberment that was honestly shocking to us. You'll find yourself slicing and dicing through limbs of practically every single enemy type that you encounter throughout your journey. When you combine this level of dismemberment with the brutal and smooth combat animations, the result is a very fun and satisfying lightsaber combat experience that places it amongst the upper echelon of lightsaber gameplay in the history of Star Wars gaming.
A lightsaber is not the only tool a Jedi has at his disposal. Of course, we are talking about the Force, and we are pleased to report that the Force abilities in Jedi Survivor are some of the best and most fun we have ever experienced. One key detail that we really appreciated about Jedi Survivor is that it handles an aspect of game sequels that is often a struggle with most. That is, Cal doesn't need to relearn his basic Force abilities, and the way the game teaches the players the controls for these abilities feels very natural within the context of the game. Jedi Survivor expands upon the traditional Force powers that we saw in Fallen Order, such as the Force Push and Force Pull abilities, while at the same time offering brand new Force abilities such as Force Lift and Force Slam that really unlocks new ways to engage enemies and helps elevate the overall gameplay experience to a whole other level. One of the biggest additions to the Force abilities in Jedi Survivor is the Force Confusion ability that allows Cal to mind trick enemies into becoming allies on the battlefield, which can really help change the tide of battle, especially during those chaotic sequences on higher difficulties. Much like the lightsaber combat, which saw the addition of 4 individual skill trees in order to properly flesh out the various combat stances, the Force gets an additional 2 skill trees for a grand total of 3, with 1 dedicated to increasing the overall Force concentration, 1 dedicated to Cal's telekinesis powers, and 1 completely dedicated to that brand new Force Confusion ability.
In comparison to Fallen Order's singular skill tree that blended survival, lightsaber, and Force into one overlapping tree, the skill tree system in Jedi Survivor is a massive step up. There are a grand total of 9 skill trees in Jedi Survivor. There is also the addition of a brand new perk system in Jedi Survivor, which can change the overall gameplay experience depending on the perks a player has equipped.
One of the biggest additions to the gameplay in Jedi Survivor is the brand new companion system. There are still moments where Cal goes trekking off on his own, but they make much more sense within the overall context of the story. The companion system not only offers new ways to engage enemies by allowing the player to have Cal command his various companions to strike enemies with their own unique abilities, but it also allows for great banter between Cal and his companions and a level of character development across the board that simply wasn't possible in Fallen Order.
I don't speak binary, but I hear you, BD. Team effort.
Another massive improvement in Jedi Survivor is its masterfully designed platforming and puzzle systems. Throughout your playthrough, Jedi Survivor will introduce you to various platforming and puzzle elements, including a new ascension cable and multiple new abilities for BD1. Once all of these elements are introduced, the level design team masterfully weaves them together, leaving you satisfied as you surmount and conquer extended wall run and grapple sequences. For those of you looking for more challenging platforming experiences, there are a host of optional Force tears, some of which will leave you wishing that you had paid more attention to your Jedi teachings.
The locations and planets of Jedi Survivor are significantly larger and offer much more replayability than they did in Fallen Order. Once progressing through the story beats of a specific planet in Fallen Order, we were hard pressed to come up with a truly good reason to come back to that location because there usually wasn't much of one. This is not the case at all in Jedi Survivor, and it is championed by the brand new planet of Kobo. EA and Respawn have carefully avoided referring to Kobo as an open world experience in an attempt to temper expectations. However, we believe they really sold themselves short with what they were able to accomplish with Kobo. To us, the sheer massive scale of Kobo qualifies it as an open world experience. Due to its overall size and layout, Koboh offers so much to do in terms of side content that it really provides that replayability factor that Fallen Order was severely missing. Exploring ancient High Republic Jedi chambers, seeking out the secret rewards of the Caves of Koboh, fishing for exotic species to fill out the aquarium in Pyloon Saloon with our favorite Scottish alien friend Scuba Stev, completing bounty hunter missions, and many more exciting surprises were all among the multitude of things that players have available for them to do just on the planet of Koboh alone. Koboh is definitively the most unique planet in Jedi Survivor and serves as the main hub world for the game. The rest of the locations and planets in Jedi Survivor are very reminiscent in layout to how they were in Fallen Order. However, that is not to say that these locations and planets are small, because that is not the case at all. Despite having a similar layout to the Fallen Order locations, the ones featured in Jedi Survivor feel significantly larger and much more explorable. These other locations and planets just don't offer that same level of side content as Koboh does, but there are still a ton of places to explore, a lot of exciting Star Wars lore to discover, and fun cosmetic items to collect.
Speaking of cosmetic items, Jedi Survivor offers a massive upgrade in customization compared to Fallen Order. While Fallen Order was limited to mostly changing the color of Cal's poncho, Jedi Survivor allows you to completely customize the look of Cal from head to toe. From being able to change Cal's haircut and facial hair, to his jacket or shirt or pants, and all the various combinations in between, Respawn has also taken a huge step in the overall level of customization in Jedi Survivor. BD1 customization has also taken a massive leap forward in Jedi Survivor. Players can change not only just the color scheme of BD, but most of the individual components of BD that allows for dozens of different combinations. Perhaps the most impressive feature in all of Fallen Order was its robust lightsaber customization system. However, even that feature is outshined by the lightsaber customization system in Jedi Survivor, which features an even more robust level of customization. There are numerous new components, material options, material color options, new blade colors, and you can even decide how pristine or how weathered you want your saber to appear. Thanks to the addition of the brand new blaster combat stance, there's even a thorough customization system for the blaster that operates very similarly to the lightsaber customization system. There are even some exciting surprise customization items that players can gain access to upon completion of the story of Jedi Survivor. While exploring, players can come across various different types of collectibles such as data discs, pyrite shards, and Jedha scrolls, all of which can be used at corresponding stores to purchase a wide array of things such as cosmetic items for Cal and BD, perks, and even more songs for DDEC to play at Pyloon Saloon.
Like most journeys in the Star Wars galaxy, our Survivor journey was not completed without some turbulence. While we started our journey on PS5 in performance mode, which targets 60 frames at 1440 resolution, we noticed various performance issues, including dropped frames, a host of unrendered textures and other elements, and the occasional glitch, particularly in large areas of the game like Koboh. We then switched performance mode off and played the remainder of the game in quality mode, which runs at 4K 30. This switch made a world of difference for us. We strongly urge PS5 users to turn off performance mode and play through Jedi Survivor in quality mode until a patch addresses these issues. While we ordinarily prefer a smoother 60 frames experience, we found quality mode to be a much more stable and enjoyable experience. Notably, our playthrough and the gameplay featured throughout this review was captured before the Day 1 patch, which we hope will address some of the performance issues we experienced on the PS5's performance mode.
Just as Cal has grown from Padawan to a flourishing Jedi Knight, Star Wars Jedi Survivor has outgrown its predecessor, Fallen Order, in every single metric. In Jedi Survivor, Respawn has put forth a Star Wars story that rivals any other Star Wars narrative in recent years, full stop. While the massive scope and depth of this game has left Respawn choking on some of its aspirations, with performance dips even on next-gen consoles, Jedi Survivor's remarkable narrative, fully fledged combat system, and sprawling world, packed full of Star Wars lore, Jedi Survivor has cemented its place as the best single-player Star Wars game ever developed.